Well, you're going through the prompts and try to go live. So we're working it. I do trust I'm live now. Coming to you from Studio B, in the Saturn Ion. Sitting outside and hanging here in Orintown, and welcome to the ORIN Oracles live. Now, I was attempting to connect with Elitom. He's in Egypt, and he was in the city. We were getting a totally poor video connection, and we were getting cut off on the audio. So I got him in the queue, and I'm waiting patiently. He was in the city. I don't know what city. He could have been in Cairo. I don't know, but he was having difficulty finding a connection. Now he was on early this morning, which would have been late last night, with a young woman who's starting a brand new live show on radio, and we have kind of connected. It's like 7 a.m. in Egypt right now, and he was in the city looking for a better signal. So for the last 45 minutes, we've been kind of playing a little bit of a tag back and forth, and I do have him in the queue. I'm hoping he finds a signal. I'm going to let it be, as I always do. We let these things ride. That's going live, and we're connecting on the other side of the plane. So it's all good. Now there's been some more and more interesting developments. People keep giving me shout-outs of people I should talk to. And, there's a lot of buzz on the street with different conversations right now, and I'm lining up to talk to some of these people to see if they want to, share the experience with me. I'm all down with it. I'm comfortable. In the meantime, I'm breathing. Sitting out here, beautiful sunny day, 80, low 80s, just gorgeous. So I'm appreciating it. Been did a morning round of golf, been drinking my tea. I've had a visitor from KC, my homie from Kansas City has been visiting me, spent the night last night. So, life be good. We're talking pee and hanging in the hood, talking high vibration thing, just looking at where is the paradigm shift? Let's get real and talk about where's the paradigm shift? Where's it going to happen? Where's the consciousness going to raise? Now, different people are doing all sorts of modalities and talking it up like their lives are changing, and I think that's awesome. Anything that you're doing and your life's changing is for the positive. It's changing your diet, your attitude, dropping out a med, this, that, and yeah. Anything you're doing is a good thing. Good job. Keep up the good work. There is no reason to not, advance in your own way, in your own time every day. Do your best. Just do your best. It's worthy. The problem that we really do have in our societal underpinning, in our cultural awareness is that disease, illness, and sickness that's what's considered normal. That's not normal by design. It's not normal by design. So, people look at you on your health kick and they're actually getting healthy. Whatever you're doing. I mean, I guess this new guy, I don't know how new it is. It's new to me. This guy's doing snake oil stuff or whatever he's doing. I don't mean to be derogatory, but, it's a big sensation right now. People are jumping on it. And apparently he's coming out on P therapy too. So, he just upped his game. Whatever he's doing, it seems to be making some noise. People are jumping on and enjoying the experience. They're actually enjoying the experience. So whatever your thing is, awesome. Do it, explore it, explain it. Have your experience and be a testimonial. I love that shit. Anybody who's getting healthy, again, good job. Keep up the good work. Why not? When you look at the options, and most people have had their illnesses, their disease, their sicknesses, and their other elements, and surgery and goofy shit has happened. I mean, how many times you want to have your body all messed up without looking at, well, how can I have my body at an optimum? Just optimizing our experience instead of limiting it and slowly committing suicide by poisoning ourselves. I mean, look at the options. And I don't know, I think healthy is a pretty healthy concept, even though, I have my limits. I do the best I can. I don't make any claims like I got it all figured out. And, I'm really looking forward to this conversation with Elitom. We have had prior conversations. We're really good to go. And if you're just coming into the conversation, know that I think he might be in Cairo. I'm not sure. He is in Egypt. It's early in the morning, and he is not getting a signal. At this point, he was not getting a signal. So that's kind of why I'm being patient. I have him in my queue, so I'm ready to talk to him. But, this is a brother. He's out there doing retreats all over the plane for breatharianism. And another whole conversation is abstinence. Where the whole physiological, it's a real deep conversation that he has other people in that conversation about, how powerful that is in the body. And that's a real, that's a dedication. There's a meditation. He does a lot of meditation too. So that's another part of the conversation. But more importantly, the exercise and modality, and he's been doing breatharian work for 18 years. So he's had a different level of it and understands it on multiple levels, and the purity of it, fasting to clean, really up in the game, seeing what your potential is on your own accord. And I did, with the Hilton Hotemus, with man's higher consciousness, even without the urine therapy, with just the breatharian work and the fasting and John Armstrong's Water of Life, there's a lot of discussion about the healing modality of just stop eating. Just stop eating. If you're going to eat, minimize it. Now, I have had one meal, I think, in, I don't know, maybe 72 hours, 80 hours, I don't know. I've had one small meal, and I'm not hungry. I ate because I had it there and I wanted to enjoy it. So that was, what I chose to do. But more importantly, I just, I'm here. I'm drinking my pee. I've been looping for hours. And, life's good. It's simple. It's really, people that don't drink their pee, yet, that just they want to poo-poo it and don't get it. My experience and the ones that I surround myself with anymore swear by it. I swear by it. And the experience is just off the hook. It's getting the mind right, the attitude right, the behavior right, the body right, the emotions right, and getting them thing dialed up. Shifting out of the depression, out of the anxiety, out of all of these levels. And I know I experienced so many of them. Now, I had so many body problems that I just talked about my body problems all the time. So talk about bringing energy to the field and focusing on something that isn't going to serve you, because what you think about, you bring about. And when you recognize that you are an electromagnetic field and you're full of liquid, and the more you liquefy, you get better signal. And the more signal you get, the more you manifest your own transformation. So there's your higher elevation. That's how you walk to a higher plane. But always recall this idea that it's an inside job. If we're looking outside of ourselves for the resolution, we're still looking in the wrong direction. So we got to heal all this shit up over here one way or the other. We got to own that shit. You got to be responsible for whatever that shit is. And we all got shit. So let's face it. Handle your shit and see what happens. And for me, drinking pee is just simple. It's effortless. It's a no-brainer. Now I got full body soak tub. I got my piss and boots. I do it in my gloves. I had a bite earlier, and first I put some fresh pee on it, and it was still itching a minute. So I went and got my spray bottle, my H and sprayed it on it. Did a rub on my ankles and my feet and my legs. Gonzo, just gonzo. Now, here I got one for you that people aren't even going to dig this one a lot, but I'm dealing with ticks, okay? So, there are a lot of ticks. Now, the big concern about the ticks is the Lyme disease and all those things, okay? Well, I've been just bombarded with ticks. I got little marks all over my body, and I pick them off. They just come out of nowhere. I don't even know where they come from. It's not like I'm out there whacking in the bush and, any of that. I don't even know where they come from. But I loop a lot. So it was 2 days ago. And I mean, I loop every 15, 20 minutes because I don't eat. So it just runs through me. It's cyclomatic. It's effortless. I do this without effort. Yeah, it's effortless ease. And I like it. I mean, it's really nutritious. It's hydrating. It's flavorless. It's better than any water I ever drank. I mean, it really honestly is, I'm just telling you the truth for me. So back to the tick story. I had been looping all morning. And, I go over, I'm tired of looping at this point because I've done plenty all day, probably recycled a gallon. And so I go to start my pee in my bottle, just say that there was a tick on my dick, right on the head. I mean, I went, wait a minute, where in the world did you come from? And I grabbed it and pulled it off, did the thing. It squirted blood. There was blood and all that stuff. But I'm telling you, 2 days later, doing the age body rub and all this stuff, shit's just gone. Just gone. Gone. I mean, I'd show you graphically, but there's no point. I trust you. Trust me in this story. But I tell you what, you want to have a shock, have a tick on your dick. Try that one on. See what happens next, So, again, if you're just joining, I'm still waiting to hear from Elitom. We were attempting connects 45 minutes before the show, and he was walking through town, and we were getting hit and miss. We weren't getting signal, and so I have him in the queue, and I'm waiting for him patiently to see if he arrives. And like many other programs that have appeared, I mean, shit happens. We're talking to somebody in Egypt. And so if there's poor connection, guess what? Hey, poor connection. So, I just sit here and fill up the space for a minute and be okay and see if he finally finds a connection and connects, because I really don't like having to reschedule shows. And when I put up a meme that says I'm going to be here with somebody, I really actually prefer to be here with somebody. And, this is an interesting fellow. If you don't know who Elitom Al-Amin is, you're in for a surprise. This guy's really off the hook. He's way cool. He's been doing this a long time. He knows breatharianism. He knows abstinence. He knows meditation. He knows practitionering to be at the highest place, but he doesn't take himself even that seriously. He actually has this amazing sense of humor. We laughed and laughed and laughed when we talk. So I've been anxious to, just have this, finally have this conversation, because we were on the phone, it was before I even went to the West Coast. So it was 5-6 weeks ago that we had a couple-hour conversation and picked this date, and there it is. So again, I'm waiting, and hopefully he'll show up. But in the meantime, did I tell you all today how much I love you? Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate you showing up. I'm sitting here in Studio B, the Saturn Ion Studio B. Feel good out here instead of sitting in the trailer, get a little air, and it's all good. Got the thing hooked up. We're hooked up. We're happening. So I'm not going to run a whole long program if he doesn't appear. I'll just reschedule with him and, do my little pee stand, push the pee. And we'll get to the breatharian thing. And that's in my mindset. That's the person I really ultimately want to be. Is I really want to favor into that idea. Although by drinking your pee, breatharianism by definition is you do nothing but breath. So that's a real strong term. Fasting's fasting. Some people are juice fasting. I pee fast. If I fast, I do pee. That's what I do. I don't drink a whole lot of guzzling water. I don't do any of that. I just recycle a lot of pee. So that would, by definition, a urinarian. From my book, from my perspective, I'd be a urinarian because I'm not dry fasting and being just a breatharian. But it is photosynthesis. The whole idea behind breatharianism is that we can actually sustain on breath and not die. And if we get enough, if we can get access to air and sunshine, particularly sunshine is good photosynthesis. We're no different than the plants and the trees. We'll grow and we'll be fine. We have all the nutrients we could possibly want, need, or use. So We can apply all sorts of technique, and remedy. But for me, my personal experience, P is the deal. That's the shit right there. It works for me. I don't spend any money. I don't send out for anything. I don't have to wait for anything. It's all simple. It's easy breezy to me. And I can loop that stuff. I've got the age. I got the tank. So I just rub my body. And, things just don't happen. I don't get sick. I don't get upset. I don't feel, I don't get indigestion. I don't do anything like that. And if I get the ticks, which I've had plenty, I just rub the shit out of it, and I get the, whether it's mosquito, this, that, and the other. And Jeffrey made a really interesting point to me recently, when we were talking, because it was 2 days ago, and I was telling him about the tick on the dick thing, and he was like, dude, if you look at insects like acupuncturists, and realize that they're vibing in on your higher frequency, and they're coming in and dialing on you rather than, fighting it off, combating them, this, that, and the other, look at them as acupuncturists. And I thought, wow, that is curious. That is fascinating. I may have to consider that. And most things is a change of mind. It's a change of outlook and a change of attitude. It was even like last winter through all the brutal cold. Instead of battling the cold, which I'd done all my life, I embraced the cold. So I changed my mind. I had a different outlook. And so I started dressing differently. And I went out there and was rocking and rolling. It wasn't any problem. I'd go out there and do my walks 17 below, 23 below. I didn't care. It didn't matter because I changed my attitude about it. I wasn't out there freezing. I was out there walking, just doing my thing. So I really trust that we can shift our modalities into whatever works for us, however we apply, whatever we trust and allow and believe is going to be right on the mark for us. If we're actually trusting our instincts, listening to our body, and applying what we feel is the correct decision, the correct choice, not what everybody else is telling you, and that's all good. It's all good. Take all the knowledge you can get, but come to your own decisions and conclusions. I'm telling you, that's the healthy choice in any kind of decision-making factor. Do your research, do your homework, do your instincts, listen to your body, and make a decision based on that. And if it's the incorrect decision, you correct the incorrectness. That's all there is to it. The thing about the P is that, I never get sick. I never feel tired or ornery or this, that, or the other, depressed, anxious. I just don't go through that anymore. The P just really works for me. It's really the perfect elixir. Now, I'm getting ready to do my Ormus stuff, and the Ormus stuff is off the hook right now. It's settling, and I'm looking in the bottom of these jars, and I'm thinking, wow, this is crazy cool stuff here. Now, I had a talk with Rosalind, and she has given me the steps towards, because what I'm going to do is start working on regrowing my teeth. That's my whole objective with my Ormus. I want to create a paste that I'm going to start stimulating my gums to actually start recreating my teeth. Now, in Chinese science, they've already proven that they are making regenerative teeth with urine stem cell enzyme. Okay, there's specifically urine stem cell enzyme, and they're regrowing, regenerating teeth, brand new teeth. Now, is that crazy cool or what? Now, Hilton Otamus talked about that stuff in Man's Higher Consciousness, where this ancient Chinese guy who was recorded, this stuff wasn't legendary, mythical. He is in recorded Chinese history. He lived to 357 or something like that. Had like 20 different wives, had 200, God knows, grandchildren. His hair went from black to gray 4 times, grew 4 sets of teeth, and this isn't even talking urine therapy. This is just like a lot of breatharian work and fasting and not poisoning ourselves. What the body is capable of, most people are clueless about, because we were engineered to think that, no, you got to have 3 squares, you got to load up on all this shit, and that was all a design and marketing by the manufacturers themselves. Whoever is pushing the product, trust it. They're the ones who have the real bottom line interest. You are not the interest. You are the consumer. You are who they're marketing to, and you have been hooked, lined, and sinkered into consumer consciousness, whether we like it or not. And that's what happened to most of us. That's why people eat poorly, they make poor choices. It's just poor choices all the way across the board. Okay, he just appeared that he's on my messenger. Now, that doesn't help me if he's on the messenger and not on the Facebook. without me going in and starting if I start the generator right now and hook up the computer, I can bring him in on a messenger, and we can either do, an audio, this, that, or the other. I just don't know. As I sit here in this minute, I really want him to come on. I mean, I've been looking forward to this brother and I having this chit chat. And we went through all the preliminaries, the prompts, and all of the understanding of the best method, how we can accomplish this task by doing a Facebook Live broadcast. And I've certainly had some technical opportunities, throughout developing this series of the ORIN Oracles Live, as well as Casey Caban. Although Casey Caban's easier because I'm not bringing anybody in. I got that one kind of figured out. Simple to, doing cartoons. So, I encourage people, let's get aware of ourselves. If nothing else, if we're not getting aware of ourselves, this is the first and focused primary you want to consider. Look inside. Look inside. Quit looking outside for the resolve, the answers, or anything. Get the information, certainly. Allow all that information, but don't become a professional student or seminarian without practitionering. Practitionering is the whole key to anything, always. I don't care what you're doing. Music, art, healing your body, yoga. Practice, practice, practice. Your meditation, your breathing, your walking. It's all practice, practice, practice. And it gets easier, becomes more effortless the more we train ourselves in order to understand how we're improving the quality of our life by our own application. And that is the key. That's the key to the paradise. Paradise lives inside. We can go through multiple dimensions. We are radiomagnetic fields. We are totally liquid. We can move through dimensions. But that's a lot of training. And, there's very few people that have shown us that path, but there's been enough examples that have shown us the path on how that is attainable, and it can be totally accomplished, simply based on us focusing in the right direction inside. See what lives within. See how you can improve your experience. And, certainly improving your diet, and your outlook, your attitude, your perspective, your performance, your practitionering, your whatever you're doing, if you're focusing on being the best you can be and making improvement any day, in every way, it's going to happen. It'll roll. You'll get better. It's inevitable. You just, quit bitching. And I had to go through this myself. I really was. I mean, oh, my hand, oh, my neck, oh, my back, oh, my pain, oh, my. I was just like, I was drawing all that energy in. I was actually magnetically drawing in all the wrong energy, so I was getting the results that I was drawing towards myself. And P therapy really helped me clean that up. It just did. I started getting my pineal and my pituitaries and my other glands, my joints, they were deoxifying, they were decalcifying. I was getting more alkaline. All these things were just falling into alignment. In a natural accord. It was really effortless on all levels. And from when I look back, this has been effortless. Now, certainly there was a lot of detox, there were a lot of challenges, there was a lot of processes, but it was the willingness consistently to just keep going no matter what. And I see where people get stuck. Oh, it tasted this, I didn't do that. I mean, I couldn't, I fell in and I fell out, and why is it not working? And blah, 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 blah. Focusing in the wrong direction, I'm telling you. Look in the right direction. You want to heal, look in the right direction. It's an inside job. I don't know how many times I can say that in so many ways, but it's the truth. We can heal ourselves. Period. Period. And there's lots of ways to go about it. I'm just telling you the one I works for me. P works for me. That's why I do it. That's why I talk about it. If I share it with anybody, I don't care. I tell people because I said, man, I tried a lot of things, but nothing worked like drinking my pee. Nothing worked like drinking my pee. It's just effortless for me. I dig that. I mean, I really do. It's tasty. I mean, this is really tasty water. Believe me when I tell you, this is just tasty water. It's effortless. It's very hydrating. Feels really good. It's real smooth. It never has any mineral. When it gets to this level, throughout the day, and that's just purification in your, plasma ultrafiltre. And, once you process and recycle and get the reborn again, and work that shit, it just gets better and better, better and better. Some people just say, oh, eat mangoes, eat pears, do this, go there, do that. And then it'll always be like, this beautiful little sweet thing. Man, I like the gnarly. You know why? Because I feel the punch. The morning punch, that's the punch. And it, yeah, oh God, it's salty, it's bitter, it's this, that, and the other. It's all sorts of energy feels. But more importantly, I know that's the magic elixir. That's the one that's going to get the kickstart going on the day. So I never, ever, ever argue with my pee. I don't argue with my pee. Oh, why can't you just be tasting better? Why don't you look better? You look so dark, you ga. I look at it and I go, dark, dank. I go, man, there is a cocktail right there. There's a power punch. I'm getting some serious nutrients. Big time. Once it gets like this, it's still there somewhere, but I mean, this is just like drinking water. This is nothing. It's everything. It's way beyond nothing. This stuff is magic. The pea knows. That's very true, Devin. I love Devonshire. What a great handle. Devonshire. Yeah, so, yeah. And Lee, I mean, there's some beautiful family out there. I appreciate y'all sharing, coming and hanging. I'm just going to have, definitely another phase where I'm going to reconnect with a guest. I made this one a special one at 3 p.m. simply because it would have been 4 a.m. for him. So I made the adjustment so that, it was 7 a.m., find a good signal, let's get this on. And, I don't know what to tell you. If we had a good signal and it was happening, he'd be right here right now with me and we'd be having this conversation. I wouldn't be doing a monologue. I'd be doing a dialogue. I'd be having a conversation. But in the meantime, I'm all chill. I love doing this, just hanging out and chilling, and it's nice and comfortable right now. Nice temp. Got some air, got some pee. Got a little sunshine blazing on me. It's good stuff. Good stuff, bro. And girls, guys, tribe, all you folks. Love y'all dearly. Really do. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep this one brief, keep it short. It's just the way I roll. If the live thing is, it's supposed to happen, it happens. Well, I'm live, so I showed up. I'm here. I kept my agreement, so. And I know Elitom wants to. I mean, he's out there somewhere. It's, it's all good. We'll figure it out. We'll get a better signal at a better time, even if I have to do the show at 3 a.m. so he can be somewhere at noon or whatever. I don't care. We'll figure it out. It'll happen. So in the meantime, you have yourself a beautiful, wonderful, marvelous day. Know that it's all good. Drink your pee. You can heal yourself. You can be a bright pea, shiny, happy person, shiny, happy people holding hands like that. We can all be there. Shift the paradigm, shift the conversation, shift the consciousness. Let's rise to a higher occasion. There is a movement. P movement's happening. Whether people agree with it or don't agree with it, believe it, the P movement is happening. It's happening. It's growing. It's changing. It's rapidly blowing up. It is. I mean, I see it myself every day. It's happening. So trust the experience. Trust your own. Drink your pee. Let's hear your testimonial. Let's get with the real stuff. Instead of asking everybody else about what they did and how they healed and all that shit, start drinking your pee. Tell us your story. It'd make it more interesting for everybody. Trust me on that. Hallelujah. Let's have one of those revivals, let's fill the energy with everybody getting their own shit on, making it real. So, again, I love you all dearly. And, let me remind you that, boom, you just been loved. And we'll get this one recreated. Trust me on that. Elitom and I are going to have a conversation, and it'll be sooner than later. So, stay tuned. Peace out.